Hi, everyone. This is Ayana, your health coach and the founder of Thrive and Be Whole. Hello, and happy Sunday to you all. I'm so excited to be going live today because am very passionate about the message I'm getting ready to share. This is all about why willpower alone won't work and how we shame ourselves in this culture and how that has such a negative impact on our health goals. This is one of my favorite things to talk about, and I'm going to be going deep into that. But before I do, my daughter requested that I put her balloon on camera for some reason. So here we go. This is for my daughter Kai, who's like, make sure they see the balloon. So this little Spider-Man balloon is making an appearance. So welcome. Now, one of the things, so we're going to be diving into why willpower alone won't work. So if you're one of those folks, if you've been struggling to get your health goals consistently together, and it doesn't matter whether your goal is weight loss or not, although that is my focus with my clients. But it is really hard to stay consistent with our healthy habits, and this is why that willpower alone won't work. We're going to tackle shame in this video, okay, and how it sabotages our health goals. And before we do that, let me just, quickly introduce myself again. My name is Ayana, and I'm a health coach, and I support women in particular, but anyone actually, who's struggling with weight loss and who's struggling to lose that weight and keep it off consistently, because that was my story. And I help women create a joyful and loving relationship with food, with exercise, and with their bodies so that they can actually change their behaviors for life and stick with it. Okay. And I lost 50 pounds doing it that way. And so I love sharing these tips about how I did it and how I also can support clients. Okay. And how I support my clients now. All right, so here we go. Let's launch right into this. Oh, and before we jump into this, how shame derails our health goals. First, let me also give a quick shout out and say, go ahead and comment on this video and like it and share it. Facebook really likes that, and it'll help me get this media out to more people. So go ahead and like and share the video with people who would benefit from this information. Okay, so now let's dive on in, and I'm just looking at my notes here on my phone. Now, the reason why this topic is so important is because this is really the missing link for a lot of people. As I mentioned before, I help people who struggle with consistent weight loss and struggle with keeping their health goals together and their healthy habits together. And a lot of us do not examine our inner mindsets and our deeper thoughts when we're working on our health goals. We just don't. We take action on the surface. But for a lot of us, this is the missing link. And for me, it was too. And when I started realizing and really working on my mindset and working on the shame that I had around this issue, it made it so much easier for me to follow through. It was really the missing link. And so this information could be the missing link for you too. Okay. Now, so here's the thing that the first thing before we get started is, let's kind of define what shame is, okay? Because, there might be some confusion. What do I mean when I'm talking about shame and how it shows up in our culture? So first what I'm going to do is I'm just going to define what shame is, and then we'll go into the different ways that it shows up in our culture, okay? So first, whenever we're talking about shame, I always love to talk about Brené Brown, because I love her. Now, if you don't know who Brené Brown is, she's a really powerful author and speaker who talks about vulnerability, who talks about shame. But a lot of people forget that she got her claim to fame a few years ago because she was a researcher, okay? And she actually did research around shame and how it affects everyday people and their goals. And she said it actually profoundly changed her life and the way that she showed up in her practice. And so when we really get real about what shame is, it can change the way that we approach all of our goals, and especially our health goals. So I'm just going to go to her website now. I'm going to read you a little difference here. She defines guilt versus shame. Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit of what she says here. So she says that guilt, both guilt and shame have the thing in common where, we feel bad about something that we feel like we did wrong, right? Guilt, however, is adaptive and helpful, okay? She said it's holding something that we've done or failed to do up against our values and feeling discomfort, feeling psychological discomfort. So we failed to do something, we didn't do it, and we feel bad, and that's normal, okay? Because we're not in alignment with our values at that point, okay? Now, shame, on the other hand, this is how she defines it. She says, shame is the intensely painful feeling or experience of believing that we're flawed and therefore unworthy of love and belonging. Okay. And it's because of something that we've experienced, done, or failed to do that makes us unworthy of this connection. So do you see the difference there? So shame, whereas both shame and guilt have that core value where we've done something that we feel like is wrong. We've made a mistake and we don't feel like we're in alignment with our values and we feel bad about it. But guilt is like, okay, it lasts for a moment and then we take a solution. There's a solution that comes from that. But shame is really, it leads to this feeling of unworthiness, this overall. So if you're, for example, I dealt with a lot of shame in my life. So shame really hits us in this place where it's like, I missed a workout. Why can't I get it together? I can never seem to get it together, no matter how many things I try. That is, taking it to a place where you're starting to feel that unworthiness, and there's that difference. And what she also says is this. She says, I think, shame is much more likely to be the source of destructive, hurtful behavior than the solution or cure. So sometimes in our society, we tend to confuse guilt and shame. It's always good to learn a lesson, right? It's always good to learn from mistakes that we've made and improve, right? And to feel a little bit bad so that we do something differently next time, right? That's kind of the impetus for change. But when we feel so bad that we start to feel unworthy, or like we can never change it, we can never transform, we're just going to be stuck where we are, that's shame. And that's destructive to our goals. And here's how it shows up in our society. Okay, so moving into the second thing we're going to talk about. This is an example of how shame shows up. All right, now, show of hands. How many of us have ever used the word lazy to describe ourselves before? Okay, me definitely. Lazy. I want you to kind of reframe that word lazy as a 4-letter word that we no longer want to use in reference to ourselves, okay? Because we live in a society all the time where it's like, if I said I was going to go work out and I didn't, I must be lazy. I had time in my schedule. Why didn't I go? I must be lazy. But lazy, not only is it, we're insulting ourselves, which is never good, but, what we're really saying about ourselves is that we feel as though there's something internally flawed within us. Okay. So when we talk about Brene Brown, when she's talking about guilt, if I forget to work, if I don't go work out because I'm tired, the guilt response is, oh man, I had so many things on my plate and I was just exhausted. Tomorrow I'm going to do something differently, or I'm going to make a plan. I feel bad about it. And so here's what I'm going to do differently next time. Okay. Versus the shame response is, man, I suck. I just can't get it together. Every time I schedule, a workout and I don't go do it, it's just like, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Why can't I get it together? You see the difference? And that shame one will have you stuck every time. Okay. And so lazy is that 4-letter word. We want to get curious. Guilt is going to propel us to get curious about what's going on. So if I'm just trying to work out at the wrong time of day, I can fix that. I can adjust that. Okay. But shame keeps us stuck and demotivated and not wanting to do anything. Okay. And that is one of the biggest things that deflates our attempts at solving our health goals and going after them. And then also too, let's talk about the second way that shame shows up, body shame. And actually right now in the Facebook group, there's a link for it in the description. Healthy living should be fun, because it should. All month we've been tackling body love, because body shame is a real thing. We know that we're in a society that is saying, that constantly tells us that we need to be perfect in order to feel validated, that we need to look perfect, whatever that means, right? And, a lot of people try to go through so much to try and achieve those ends. And here's the reality of it, right? So when we have that idea in our minds, we feel as though we can never live up. And we feel as though we will never measure up looks-wise to what other people are doing. And it's so damaging and destructive, okay? And it does the same thing. It has the same effect as the shame that we've been describing before, where it just demotivates and deflates the sales. So a lot of us, for me personally, I remember, because I had shame with my body that I dealt with since middle school, there were many times I didn't want to exercise because I didn't want people to see me and judge my body. And so that can derail our health goals, and then we don't even want to try. Okay, so here's what I want to invite you to do. I've put some links in the description that I want you to check out. You deserve to move past these issues, and we all can with support. And I want to invite you, that if you're tired of this, if you feel like you've had enough of the whole up and down scene, and then you should join the free Facebook group that I've put in here, request to join, and also set up a breakthrough session with me. We will spend some time, figuring out what your vision, what your powerful vision is for your health, why you want to do it, but also what might be stopping you. Is it shame? Because for me, it deeply was. And when I got health coaching, it made the biggest difference on planet Earth. And that's what I want to give to you. That's the gift I want to give to you. So go ahead, you can message me or you can click that link to schedule because you deserve it. Okay. We all deserve to move past this. And I couldn't do it without help. Most of us need help to do that. Okay. So with that said, I hope to talk to you all soon. Have a great day. Bye.